And Congressman Joe Walsh from Illinois joins us right now. Congressman, thank you for joining us.
Merry Christmas.
Nice to see you as well. You know, Alan Greenspan told Maria not too long ago that in his view, maybe going over the cliff would be a small price to pay, and the recession that it might bring in for a couple of quarters in order to get our fiscal house in order. Are you of a like mind? Is that how you feel about this?
You know, I'd like to avoid going over the cliff. I do concur with Mr. Greenspan that I think this fiscal cliff is a classic Washington dysfunctional manufactured crisis. We created this. The bigger cliff is the fact that this country's broke. We're beyond $16 trillion in debt. And unless we get serious and get our hands around that, our kids and our grandkids will never recover.
So, Congressman, what are you looking for? I mean, you said you're unlikely to support a deal made by the President and Speaker Boehner. So what is it that you want that you're not getting?
Well, what I won't do, Maria, is vote for any tax increase on small businesses, on any American. Look, we've already voted in the House to extend the Bush tax rates for every American. We've done that twice. In the Senate, they voted to extend the Bush tax rates for people below $250,000. I can't support that, but why not bring both bills up before the House and see which one the House and the Senate will support?
But with such a stringent attitude, I mean, you're just like the other side. You know, it's your way or the highway. You know, you won't say yes to any tax increases. For the good of the country, isn't it better to just give a little on something so that we can come together and get a deal done so that we don't see all these layoffs January 1 and into January, and we don't see the largest tax increase on all Americans, virtually all income levels, so that we actually get this uncertainty behind us? Where are you going to give on?
Not to support something, Maria, that's not for the good of the country. Not to support something that will actually hurt the country. Look, we're in this place right now because Washington is dysfunctional. This president is only campaigning. Republicans in Congress are too afraid to do what's right because too many just want to get reelected, and the Democrats don't care about spending. So what we ought to do, Maria, if you want to really do something about this, if the president was sincere, extend the Bush tax rates for 6 months for everybody and make sure Washington gets serious about these issues.
But to the spirit of Maria's question, I mean, both sides have demonized each other. I mean, you're saying that the Democrats don't care about spending. The way they would see it is they're taking care of the little guy who would be hurt by cuts in Social Security and Medicare spending. They say that the Republicans on the other side, as they demonize you guys, you're protecting the rich people out there by not raising their taxes. So, you know, let's face it, nobody's going to be happy with whatever deal comes out of Washington because it's going to include some compromises that people right now ideologically don't want to make.
Right, and in fact, the president may ultimately get his tax increases, but we got to be serious. I mean, facts are facts. You can raise the tax rates for people over $250,000, and you might pay for 6 to 8 days worth of federal spending. This isn't serious. We've got to get serious, and the Democrats aren't serious, and the president's not either. If you want to get serious, you've got to talk about spending, and they just don't want to do that. You and I both know, and when you go off the air in a couple minutes with me, you know that raising taxes on people who make $1 million or more won't do any good.
Yeah, but
you know that.
That's not meant to be the whole solution, though, sir. That's only one piece of the process.
But it won't. But what if it's a hurtful piece? What if it doesn't go to any?
Well, the speaker acknowledged. I mean, to your point about it, raising taxes on small business. The speaker's point the other day when he said he would be willing to raise taxes on $1 million plus, his point was it won't hurt the small business person out there.
Well, it will. It'll impact 300 to 400,000 small businesses. So, in fact, it will. I give the speaker credit for doing his best to try to negotiate with this president. I mean, look, you two, I think the president will probably get his taxes. Right. I can't support them, but I think his bill should come to the floor of the House and the floor of the Senate, And maybe there are enough Democrats and Republicans who will support that.
All right, let's talk about reality, since we all know everything is going to happen automatically on December 31st. How significant are you expecting the layoffs to be in January, given that we are going over the cliff? And how easy will it be to retrace this and put tax rates at a better level, or a more constructive level, and put spending cuts in place once they have to retract what happened automatically, the spending cuts and the tax increases in January?
Well, and that's a wonderful point. I don't know how easy it will be. I would guess that the market has already factored in so much of this dysfunction in Washington already. I think much of the market is expecting us to go into January and to try to retroactively fix things. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's enough will in either party to fix the long-term endemic problems in this country. And so long-term, I have huge concerns that Washington, both parties, won't get their house in order, and eventually that's going to impact the economy.
All right, we will leave it there. Sir, good to have you on the program.
Thank you,
Thanks very much
for
your
joining us.
insights.
Loved you when you